What are examples of dependency theory in practice? Have you ever wondered how some countries seem to struggle while others thrive? This question leads us to the concept of dependency theory. This theory explains how poorer countries, often referred to as the periphery, relying on wealthier nations, known as the core, for economic survival. This relationship often leads to a cycle of underdevelopment for the poorer nations. Let's look at some real-world examples of this theory in action. First, we can consider the historical context of colonialism. Between the 17th and 20th centuries, European powers like Britain and France colonized vast regions of Africa, Asia, and the Americas. They extracted raw materials from these areas at minimal costs, shipped them back to Europe for processing, and then sold the finished products back to the colonized nations at inflated prices. This system transferred wealth from the colonized regions to Europe, creating a dependent economic structure that still exists today in various forms. Even after the end of formal colonialism, practices like control over resources and economic interference continue to keep many countries reliant on former colonial powers. Next, let's discuss the superexploitation of labor in the global South. In places such as Latin America, Africa, and parts of Asia, workers often receive wages that are far lower than the value of their output. This surplus labor value is sent to developed countries, helping to sustain wealth in the global North. Local elites often work with foreign capitalists to maintain this system, reinforcing global capitalism, where wealth in rich nations is linked to the underdevelopment of poorer ones. Another example is the economic policies that reflected dependency. Countries influenced by dependency theory often reject traditional capitalist models like free trade, viewing them as tools that perpetuate dependency. Instead, they may pursue centralized economic planning and self-reliance. For instance, Tanzania's Ujamaa policy and China's Great Leap Forward aimed to reduce reliance on foreign capital and markets. While these efforts face challenges, they illustrate attempts to apply dependency theory by prioritizing social welfare and economic independence. Lastly, we have the issue of debt and financial dependence. Many developing nations relying on loans and financial aid from international institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. This creates a cycle of debt where poorer countries must follow economic policies set by these institutions, often sacrificing their own development goals. This financial dependence is a modern form of the dependency relationship, reinforcing global inequalities. From a socialist perspective, these examples show how capitalism operates on a global scale to maintain unequal relationships between nations. Dependency theory aligns with socialist critiques by revealing that the development of wealthy countries is often tied to the exploitation of poorer nations. Understanding these dynamics is essential for anyone interested in global economics and social justice.